Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will talk about mail tips. Mail tips are the informational messages which are displayed while the message is being composed or is being drafted in Outlook clients or the Outlook web app. If we go to Exchange server and go to over and let's click on new and add all users DL. As you can see, this is informing us as this message will be sent to 29 recipients, and this is one of the mail tips type and the usage. And if you try to add or attach file which is more than allowed size, then you will see this kind of attachment mail tip which is saying you have exceeded the allowed limit of attachment size on your email. So these kind of mail tips can also be seen while we using the reply all, as this is saying this message will be sent to 30 recipients. So the mail tips are the information which you can share with the user who is sending an email or drafting an email even before he sends that email. So this way you can avoid any mail flow related issues or provide the required information to the user. So mail tips can be shown when the user is trying to send email to the large distribution groups or inappropriate or secure distribution groups, or when the email is being sent to external organizations, or even when user is trying to reply to that email using reply all, or when he is attaching very large attachments on the email. This also includes the out of office message while the message is being sent to the user who is not available at the moment or who is on the vacation. So let's go to our ECP and see some of these scenarios where mail tips can be useful. Let's go to groups. As you can see, we have this IT department distribution group here. So let's go to properties of this. So if we go to MailTip, we have this option to add the MailTip for this group. So whenever somebody tries to send an email to this group, they will see the informational message or the MailTip on the Outlook clients or on the OVA. So let's consider a scenario where this group is being used for creating a IT support case, and the IT team would want to know some of the information of the sender who is sending this email to create that IT related case. So we can use this message to notify the senders as to include the employee ID in the subject line and provide the device ID where they have some kind of technical issues with which they may need IT support on. Note that this cannot exceed 175 character limit. So let's click on save and go back to our OVA. Let's try to create a new email and send it to IT department. As you can see, as soon as we selected this group, we see this mail tip saying that you are about to contact the IT support. Please include the employee ID in the subject line and provide the device ID along with the details of your issue. So this way we can make sure that the sender is aware of what information he has to send while creating an IT support request. So let's say the user test 1 is going on a vacation. So let's configure the automatic reply for test user 1 and set to send automatic reply during the weekends, which is our September 14th to September 16th. And I want to end this by like 6 a.m. and the message will be, and let's copy the same for outside the organization as well and click OK. Let's go back to our OVA here and try to send email to test user 1 and select this user. As you can see, the automatic reply message is being showed here. As this user currently out of office, you may consider to remove this recipient and send the email to test user 2 instead of sending to test user 1. So this is how you can notify the senders that you are currently being offline or on the vacation even before they send email to you. So let's take another scenario wherein the user is trying to send email to all users. Let's consider as this group contains all the users on your organization and the recipient count exceeds more than 3000 or few thousands of users. In such cases, you may want to notify the sender that he is sending the email to all the users within the organization and not to use this group for spamming the messages and not to reply all in some cases. Let's go to this group and go to edit and go to MailTip, and here let's enter this message saying that you are about to send this email to all users in the company. Please ensure that you are not using this group for spamming. So let's click on save. So once it is done, let's go back and try to send email to all users now. As you see here, the MailTip is displaying the information and informing the sender as not to use this group for spamming. So this could be one of the major cases where we use the MailTips in the organization. We can also inform the users while sending an email to external user saying that they are trying to send email to the external recipient. This message will be leaving the organization, which can help them make the correct decisions about their wordings, the tone, and the content, which also includes the attachments. So let's see how we can achieve this in our organization. As you see, I have entered the to address or the recipient address as Praveen@gmail.com, which is an external recipient, and we do not see any mail tip over here as of now. So let's discard this and make the changes which is required to enable this mail tip. The external email mail tip cannot be done on the ECP. So to set that, we will have to use the PowerShell, and this has to be set on the organizational level. So let's use get organization config and select the mail tips as required values. So as you can see, mail tips are enabled here. You see the mail tips for external recipient is not enabled. Let's enable this by using set organization config, provide this parameter or the switch and set it to true like this. And then if we use the get organization config now, we can see that this is set to true now. So let's go back to our OVA and refresh the page. So if we now try to send an email to external user who is Praveen@gmail.com, you can see the mail tip arrives as the following recipient is outside your organization and provides the recipient name. So let's consider another scenario wherein we have the mailbox of the recipient is completely full, and as we know, sending an email to him will not be delivered at the moment. So it's better to notify the sender even before they hit send. So let's say Alexis is having the mailbox which is around 400 MB used. So let's set this to 400 MB. refresh. If you go back to mailbox usage, as you can see, Alexis David is using more than 100% of mailbox quota on his mailbox. So his mailbox is completely being utilized. So whenever he receives a new email, he may unable to read that email or respond to that email because of some of the issues caused by his mailbox size. So let's go back to our over here and try to send email to Alexis and see what happens. As expected, the mail tip arrives, which says the recipient's mailbox is full. So let's consider a scenario wherein you have users from multiple geographic locations and you may need to translate these type of mail tips to their local regional languages. And for this scenario, we will consider as we have a user from Chinese who doesn't understand English. Let's convey the message which we added here on the IT department in Chinese for the Chinese user. To do that, let's copy the message. As you see here, adding the mail tip will automatically add the HTML tags. So you don't need to worry about this. Let's copy the message which is in the plain text and close this. To set the translations, you need to use PowerShell and this cannot be set on the ECP. So let's go to our distribution list, which is get distribution group, and provide IT, which should give our IT department distribution name. Let's select the mail tip and name. We have the distribution name here. We have the mail tip, which is in the English US, and the translation is again in the English US. So let's change this to our Chinese language using the PowerShell command, which is set distribution group and provide the distribution name as identity and set the mail tip translation, add equals. Here you need to provide the culture or the code associated with the language, which is listed on the Wikipedia. And this is ISO 639 language code format. So for the Chinese, I will say Chinese, and this is the code. So this will be 2-letter code, and you can select any language for which you need to do the translation and select this 2-letter. So I'm going to select Chinese. So I will provide the code for Chinese, which is ZH, and I will provide semicolon, and then we will need to add the message, which is here in Chinese. So let's use our translator, which is our Google Translator, and we will see from English to Chinese simplified. So let's copy this message and go back to our PowerShell. Once we have copied this message, close the single quote which we started here and end the parenthesis and hit enter. If we go back to get distribution group with the mail tip, you can see the translation has added this. So for any Chinese user, this will be the translated message, which will convey this message, and it will also display the English version of the message. So this is how you can make use of mail tips on your organization in multiple scenarios. Let me know how you are using the mail tips in your organization, or if you need help with any custom scenarios, let me know on the comment section. I will definitely try to help you with your queries. I hope this was informative and see you on the next one.